evening. I am Kevin Bailey and my co-host right here, Courtney Morrison. Hi,
Yes,
Courtney.
welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm I'm not in my usual place today. I don't know. See, I'm having a little internet connectivity issue. So if you hear me chipping out, please bear with me. We have a whole heap of man at the place, and we're just happy to have you. We're having a great evening this evening. This is the place where we empower men, uplift men, and encourage men. And Kevin, we have a whole heap of man them in another place today. Today, remember our phone lines will also be open so you can actually participate. Our guests this evening are Timothy Skyers, Javo Wilson, Joseph Curtis, and Pastor Paul Hemmings from Highgate Gospel Chapel. These men are whom we have with us this evening, and it's going to be fun. We're still talking about the Jamaican male brand. Are there any good men in Jamaica?
Well, let me take this.
Not sure what's happening here this evening, but it looks like Kevin is out of it a bit. So, what are some of the stereotypes about the Jamaican man? How do women see our Jamaican men at this point in time? Is there any good Jamaican man left? And as we said, this evening we have with us 4 men who will be with us to really give us their perspective on this matter. And I'm not sure who we have on, but there is, Timothy Skyers and Javar Wilson, Joseph Curtis. You may acknowledge as we go along, and Pastor Paul Hemmings from Highgate Gospel. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome. Good to have you here with us. Just say who you are, but I don't know who you are just yet.
You can go ahead, Pastor.
I'm Paul Hemmings, Highgate Gospel Chapel.
Say that name one more time.
Paul Hemmings, Highgate Gospel Chapel.
Okay. The elder is Paul Hemmings. What a thing.
And Timothy Skyers here.
All right. Good to have you with us, Pastor Hemmings.
Well,
Kevin, welcome
Courtney,
back, man. You seem
thank
to having
you.
Timothy
I am not
Skyers,
sure.
good to have you with us. You know it's the Isle of Summer program. Kev.
Yes, no, it's my privilege. I know Pastor Paul Emmons very well, and I know
We seem
Timothy
to be having
Skies as
some
well.
internet
So
connectivity
I,
difficulties.
I have the advantage of knowing these gentlemen, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
welcome, gentlemen. Great to have you and to see you. And so we're gonna have a stimulating conversation because this is the program we challenge, encourage, and empower men, and I know that is dear to your heart. And hopefully we'll be joined later on by 2 other men. But let me just remind man and man from Moran Point to Negril, this is your program, and it's going to be a great one. We look forward to hearing from you. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, so please leave your comments on our WhatsApp line. That's 997-3125. That's 997-3125. Or give us a call on our studio lines, 876-968-8327. You can ask these men any question. They can answer any question today. That's why they're here, right? Ladies, ladies, remember, we cherish you, we appreciate you, and we ask you to participate by leaving us a message on our WhatsApp line or YouTube, Facebook page. But please remember, do not call or leave any voice notes. Encourage the man them to do that, right? Because this is a safe space. What you say, Courtney? Courtney,
Yeah, man.
I think we have
Man, them shoulder broad. That's why we have them on with us today.
Yes.
Man, them shoulder really broad. So, man, what are some of the stereotypes out there for our men? Yes. Are there any good Jamaican man left? Is the Jamaican man brand, still good? Are there anything left, significant about them? We're going to look at that. We're going to find out and move, and there's more on this from the other side right after this break. We'll be back with you shortly.
Yes. Strong man. Integrity.
When shopping around is such a chore and you never find what you need, there's an online store that's secure, low prices guaranteed. Cool market, anything you want, we've got it. Fabulous furniture, gifts and gadgets, household items and electronics. You can even shop for your groceries. It's the way shopping is supposed to be. Many ways to pay, pretty live for me. Call me. Coolmarket.com.
Anytime you taste any grace, brothers, on your mind, them off the bus dance moves. If you run to the pot, when you get your boys food, race food, products, never make it go down smooth. The taste can lose you. Fuel the vibes in the time when the beer grace foods from the inside. Taste can lose you. From the spices move you. Everybody shout out, grace food sweet. Good bad guys, we love. Good taste can lose you. Please bring in the food you love.
It's your vibe, your mood, or your appetite, like the taste of grace.
Life comes at you fast and it can hit hard. Apply for the Credit Union Prepaid MasterCard from CNWJ with chip and PIN protection. Need a card with a personal line of credit for emergencies? We have that. Need a card you can use to shop online for that must-have item? We have that. The community and workers of Jamaica Prepaid MasterCard. All the convenience of a MasterCard. Discover the benefits of belonging.
For the first time ever, the annual Holy Convocation of the Emmanuel Apostolic Church will take place in the USA, hosted by Bishop Ernest McDonald in Miramar, Florida. Hi, this is Presiding Bishop Everton Thomas, inviting you to join us Wednesday to Sunday, July 14 to 18, under the theme, Unshakable, Standing Strong When Things Go Wrong. Visit emmanuelhq.org for live stream information. That's EMMANUELHQ.org. Stay blessed.
One because the daughter born, the father gone. Son born, him get up and run gone. God bless your boy DJ representing for the mailbox. Don't switch with that.
I am a man, yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man, yes. Strong man. Integrity man.
Integrity. Welcome back to the mailbox on Love 101 FM. Yes, I am Kevin Bailey and my co-host Courtney Morrison is in the place. And today inside the mailbox, it's all about the Jamaican man. Are Jamaican men becoming better or worse? Well, we have the men in the place to answer. What are some of the stereotypes about Jamaican man? How do women see Jamaican men? Is there any good Jamaican man left in other place? That's the question many ladies are asking, many girls are asking. Well, so far we had welcomed Pastor Paul Hemmings and Timothy Skiles, and I think we now have Joseph Curtis. Joseph, I welcome to the mailbox.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Are you hearing me?
Okay, Joseph. Yes, we're hearing you now. Thanks so much for joining us. All right. So we have a simple thing to do, Courtney. We have three men right now in the place, and then we have one per question, right? And I noticed we start with the young man, that's Paul Hemmings, and then we go to the younger men.
Yes, Kevin, we have three men. I'm hoping everyone is hearing me. I'm not sure what is happening.
Yes.
We're hearing you, Courtney.
We seem to have a serious challenge today. But again, we just want to say good afternoon to Timothy Skiles, Pastor Paul Hemmings, and the new gentleman who has joined us, that bearded gentleman with the glasses. Is that Mr. Curtis? He looks like a Curtis, you know. So, you know, in the olden days, we had a gentleman called Curtis Blow. He has a strict resemblance to him. So we want to get with it. We want to know if there's still what the stereotype is, and are there any Jamaican men that are good that are left? Are all the good ones taken? We want to know from you today. We hear that you have the expertise and all of this, and that you're all excellent men. So we want to hear a bit more today from you on this matter. True, Kev?
So
who
Courtney,
is going to start
Jamaican
this evening?
Hey, Courtney, we have to shout out the man them first, you know, so they can join us, you know. After 3, we're going to shout out to the man them from...
You do that big shout out, man.
Moran Point to Negril.
Just shout it out.
All right, so gentlemen, after 3, we're just going to say Mandea. That's all. All right. 1, 2, 3. Mandea! Yes. Man in the place. So Jamaican men have had a bad reputation for being philanderers, readily or frequently. They enter into casual sexual relationships with women. Some of them have several girlfriends and baby mothers on the side. So it's time for the draft, where we do a preliminary, where we open the way to a main segment. And we just want you, gentlemen, starting from Pastor Paul Hemmings, to answer. Just give us some quick answers to these questions. So 3 of you have to give us the answers. Give us a quick introduction of who you are. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Also, what 3 things you think Jamaican man right now prioritize in their life? From your perspective, which are the 3 things that you think that Jamaican man say, yeah, we have to do this, we have to get this. And remember, you can't be wrong, you know, because you're prior to that. This is how you see it. And finally, in your opinion, are we getting better as Jamaican men? Are we getting worse? All right. Pastor Paul Evans, we ask you to go. Yes, to start first.
Right, so I'm Paul Hemmings. I'm pastor at Highgate Gospel Chapel. Of course, I've been involved with mentoring men, especially young men, throughout my years. The second question: what 3 things men prioritize? Well, men prioritize their woman, men prioritize their money, and men prioritize their friends. Yeah. And the third question. Yeah, I think we kind of falling out, but a recent stat says that we are getting better at fathering. So let me just go with that then.
Okay. Wow. So we have women, money, and friends.
Yeah.
That's correct, right? All right. Thank you so much, Pastor.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for that perspective. Who would take Timothy?
Sure.
Your answers, yes.
Sure. Okay. So my name is Timothy Skiles. I love it when my friends call me Timmy Sky. 27-year-old. I go to Swallowfield Chapel. Very passionate about leadership, church, Jesus, friends, and community. My wife and I have a catering company, so we are in the business of food, and that's a little gist about me. As it relates to the second question, I think the typical Jamaican man prioritizes money, sex, and football. That's my 3. And then the final question. Can you repeat the final question for me?
Yes. Are Jamaican men getting better or worse?
Are they getting better or worse? Wow.
Yes.
I want to, you know what, I'm a positive thinker. I'm going to say that we're getting better.
Okay. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you.
Of course.
So it's Joseph.
All right, so again, thank you for having me. I'm Joseph Curtis. I
Sure.
worship at Christian
Yes.
Life Fellowship. Yes, I'm a husband to one wife and a father to one son. Um,
Ah.
yeah, but what do I do? My wife and I run our business following Timothy, but I'm older, so I'm 37. What I think Jamaican men prioritize, not very different from what the gentleman have said. I think they prioritize their money, they prioritize enjoyment, and they prioritize their peace of mind.
Oh.
Are Jamaican men getting better? I think what I've seen is that we're getting more aware, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that is leaning to the better side of the spectrum rather than the worst side of the spectrum.
Yes. Wow.
Yes, yes.
Um, thank you, Joseph. George Davis says, "Big up, brothers, Paul, Timmy, and Joseph. You know the place straight from Milo." That's George Davis there, our brethren from Solofield,
Big
and
up,
leader
George. Big
there.
up.
All right. So Courtney, you realize I like the priority listings, you know. I somehow love the priority listings. Pastor Paul Emming says women, money, and friends. And then Timothy Skyer says money, sex, and football. And then Joseph Curtis says money, enjoyment, and peace of mind. So you have some commonality in the mix there. I realize money was in all of the categories. You realize that? Yes, Courtney. I, I think Courtney having a little connectivity challenge there, but thank you. Hopefully it is sorted out. Thank you so much, gentlemen. And
No
so
problem.
we are going straight into the main segment because before we quint, time finish. Potter's Anointed Clay says, "Well, I see women nowadays all about their friends being seen on social media and cars." So she was just sharing her, what she's observing that men are into their friends, brethren and brethren, being on social media out there, want to make a presence and into their cars as well. Thank you so much, Potter's Anointed Clay, for that feedback. So gentlemen, we're going again into some questions, and this time I'll start with Joseph. Then, right? Uh, is the brand corrupt? When we talk about the Jamaican man brand, um, honestly, from where you sit, is there a particular brand that you say this characterize a Jamaican man? And from where you sit, is it a good picture or is it corrupt? Joseph, what's your take on this?
So what I see of the Jamaican image, the brand that is out there, it doesn't represent the full ambit of Jamaican men well. I think it's a false image, but it's the easiest response to respond to the ills that we face, just to blame the Jamaican man. I think there is a lot more to Jamaican men than what is spoken of or displayed.
Ah, Joseph there speaking is first take on that. Timothy, what do you say when you think of the Jamaican man and the brand that we're supposed to have? Is it being corrupt? What's your take on this?
Great question. I'd say it's an interesting one. From where I sit, honestly, I see two types of brands as it relates to Jamaican men. I think there's a very general, typical brand, which is almost like a galley, a womanizer. You're not a man unless you have bare picnic. You're not a man unless you push badness, that type of stuff. But in the very same arena, from my perspective, where I sit, I'm surrounded by men that are the exact opposite of that. So, godly men seeking God first. You saw George big up Mello. That's a ministry at church that again, from my perspective, this is what I see. A Jamaican man is a God-fearing man, a great leader in society. And so it's like two different brands. I'd say
A
one is
little
more
while.
general than the
Lost
other
too much
one.
and are we back to?
You hearing me?
So Barnes atmosphere of the program, the level of communication of the panelists, and we have a friend here, the mailbox saying it's a very difficult topic because it's not one size that fits all. There are good Jamaican men left, as you describe it, and enough bad ones are available for free. That is what the comment saying. And enough bad ones are available for free.
Man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. Hey man, I am a man. I am a man.
You took some time, hey.
Hey, we hit the road again this weekend. I Love Summer Youth Fellowship Takeover. St. Elizabeth, it's your time. So join me, Shivani Blair, this Friday, July 16, as we take over the Little Portals New Testament Church of God. It's a youth fellowship you can't afford to miss. And if you aren't able to swing by, you can watch us live on Facebook and on YouTube. It's our I Love Summer Youth Fellowship Takeover. Our I Love Summer Spotlight Youth Fellowship Takeover happens this and every Friday at 7 p.m. This St. Elizabeth leg is sponsored by Kristen Charles. When you think loans, think Kristen Charles. University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, fostering leadership and innovation. Shade purified drinking water, drink up, stay cool. Phosphate your electrical and LED people and center at home worldwide. It's time to explore.
I love summer. And the momentum just keeps growing on Love 101 FM, the family station, as we continue the journey across the nation. This time, we're heading to the parish of Westmoreland. We begin with worship this Sunday, July 18, at Central Tabernacle Deliverance Center, 91 Great George Street, Savannah. And you are invited to come and share in the Youth Sunday service beginning at 11 a.m. with host Pastor Bishop Joyce Bernard and main speaker Pastor Jerome Francis. Come meet Love FM's very own youth ambassador, Shivani Blair, and be part of the start of a week of exciting engagement with the people of Westmoreland under the banner I Love Summer. The church service begins at 11 a.m. this Sunday, July 18th, and will be carried on our Facebook page, YouTube, and on the radio frequencies of Love 101 FM, the family station. Be sure not to miss it.
Praise the Lord with the sweetest song from the highest mountain.
You're listening to Family Radio Love 101 broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We do apologize for the technical difficulties that we are currently experiencing inside the mailbox. Stick and stay with us right here on Family Radio Love 101 as we continue to get things resolved on this side.
welcome back. Welcome back.
What's up? What's up?
Yes. We just want to apologize. Doing having some challenges here, connectivity and technical stuff, but we're
Yeah.
hoping that we will get through it. So gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience, and our listeners from More and Point Grill, thank you so much for being patient with us as well. So we were having the conversation, right, and talking, are we getting better or worse? And wait, did you finish, Timothy?
I think so. I mean, to be honest, I'm not
We
quite
we
sure.
had
I think
your
it's
we
a
had your
cut off.
response.
Yeah, but I mean, essentially, what I was saying is, I see two different brands
Okay.
of men. There's a general stereotypical one. However, if you guys come to the conference, Kingdom Men
Yes.
Arise, this Saturday, July 17th, and register
Yes.
kingdommenarise.com, you can learn about the other brand of what this thing called a Kingdom Man is, which I believe is on the rise in Jamaica as well.
All right. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to a huge conference here at Solo Field. No,
Yes,
we're
sir.
talking about stereotypes. There are certain stereotypes of Jamaican men. Um, Joseph, I know you may not be as old as Courtney or myself, but what are the
You
stereotypes
sure?
that you have been hearing of the Jamaican of the Jamaican men, Joseph? Can you talk a little bit about that? What are you hearing there on the streets about who are Jamaican men?
You know, this culture has been built of Jamaican men that suggests that men aren't reliable. Jamaican men not reliable, and I think that that is
Mm.
not necessary. That can be the case. Not. I mean, we have
Mhm.
challenges in our society, but if that was the case, we would have greater challenges. Our Jamaican men, for the large part, we are extremely reliable. Uh, they are also a suggestion that Jamaican men don't necessarily no commitment. They really want to bounce from left, right, and center. And I mean, yes, there are persons in our sphere that don't necessarily share all of our ideals, men that aren't Christian. But I think for the larger part, when you have conversation with people who differ in some of the values, they are still in pursuit of something. They just think it's elusive. So in a sense, while there is nothing to hold on to, they have a sense of hopelessness. They are also breathing hopelessness. So which is why you really need to have a mindset of a kingdom man, because we correct the fact that people are looking for hope in things other than the Father.
Hmm.
Ah,
Hey, Kevin,
that's a lot of
interesting
stuff there.
perspective.
Yes, Courtney.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you could elaborate on a kingdom man. What does that look like? What does that sound like? What should we be looking for when we're talking about the stereotype? We're looking at an alternative, yes, so that indeed there'll be a standard, something that we can look to. What should our men be encouraged to look like? Pastor, I
Yo,
mean,
So,
okay, Pastor.
You want me to take that on?
sure, and then we get back to the kingdom man
Well,
himself.
when we talk about the kingdom, we're talking about the rulership of God. You know, God being in charge. So if you're a kingdom man, it means that God is in charge of you. He's your Lord. And so a kingdom man, first of all, is somebody who is submitted to God. So he knows about submission. He doesn't just
Hmm.
know about him doing his own thing. He knows about submission. He knows about answering a call with abandonment. He knows about serving the Lord and serving with security. He knows about leading with love. He knows about giving with grace. So he knows about these kind of things. So he's different because he's answerable, he's accountable to one who is greater than himself, you know, kind of thing. He understands that he's a subject belonging to a kingdom and he has a king.
Thank you, Pastor Paul.
Solid.
Kevin, you know what I find interesting? We're talking about
mhm.
submission and the kingdom man. But the word submission seems to elude most of our men. We think women must be submissive to us, but speak to the submission a little more if you can. Any one of the panelists.
In First Corinthians 11, when that structure is being laid out, he said the head of man is Christ, and the head of the woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. So from there we get this whole submission thing. But you're right, because we often talk about the woman being under submission, not remembering that we too are under submission. So the kingdom man knows that, and therefore he functions from that understanding, and that in turn affects how he leads eventually the woman or the church or his family, because he understands that he's answerable to somebody else, somebody greater than him.
Awesome.
That is very, that is very, very powerful. Thank you so much, Pastor Hemmings. Paul, Timothy, how does this concept of kingdom man kind of work out in your life as a young man, married, and so practically, like Manuel, listen now, is there a difference between how you would treat your wife, what kind of ministry you're involved in, how you look at the world, how you manage money or so? Talk to us a little bit of how this kingdom man would operate, but closer home to you, and how you see it, Timothy.
Of course, no problem. Yeah, man, for sure. I think at the very beginning of it, what we have to identify is that there is a kingdom way, and then there's a worldly way to do things, right? And once you identify as a kingdom man, and I just want to reemphasize that, we're dropping, Pastor Hemmings dropped some bombs a while ago, dropped some wisdom, but I just want to reinforce and reiterate that if you really want to know more about this thing called kingdom man, you have to come to this conference. It's free. It's this Saturday, July 17th. The only way to be able to go though is you have to register. But going back to my life now. So yeah, I agree. It impacts how I treat my life on a daily basis. To be honest, it impacts even just how I start my day. The mere fact that we speak about this word called submission, I'm not living a life that's free of submission. I'm living in submission to the Holy Spirit and to God Himself. So that impacts just how I start my day on a daily basis. It impacts how I treat my wife. The mere fact that I pray and I read my Bible and spend intentional time in the Word on a daily basis, again, affects how I live. Talking about stuff like generosity and living from a place of generosity. So and even stewardship, a lot of biblical principles that carry over into my everyday life, from how I manage my money to spending time with my wife to prioritizing my family and my tithe, all these things. There's a kingdom way and there's a worldly way, and truthfully, if you look at it through the world's lenses, it comes across counterintuitive or upside down. But truthfully, it's when you're living in submission to God, it's really right side up. That's the truth. But they're two different things. And again, I want y'all to be a part of this conference this Saturday. KingdomMenArise.com is the only way you can register, and it promises to reveal more of these gems.
Thank you, Timothy. We're going to take a time signal, so we'll just go straight to the studio. And then we're going to be back again and joining you, gentlemen. So just take a break. We'll be right back to the mailbox.
LiveWell Pharmacy has many services for diabetics. Stop by for your free blood sugar machine while stocks last. The time by LiveWell Pharmacy is...
Hey, 8 minutes on the downside of 6 o'clock.
Get ready for another exciting show coming your way inside Alive this Throwback Thursday, July 15. Stick around for Power Blast at 2 o'clock. 2:15 inside Pieces of the Past. It's the St. Elizabeth edition of Parish Factor Fiction Quiz Off. Woohoo! One you don't want to miss. Our very own announcers, Kim Lee Levy, will go up against Neeson Williams to determine who knows their parish better. Who will it be? Tune in to find out. Then at 3 p.m., we bring you a special throwback interview. All this and more will come alive on the family station, Love 101.
It's your time. Yeah. I am a man, yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We want to say thanks for the time signal. We're speaking with Javar Wilson, Timothy Curtis, Pastor Paul Hemming. We really want the men out there to know that the phone lines are open. You know, we want you to call us. It is important. We want your viewpoint on this. We don't want you to just listen. We want to hear, do you agree? Do you disagree? We want to know what you are up to in this time, you know? So at this time, though, we're just going to jump to another area of today's program where we went out the road to ask the man them about stereotypes of the Jamaican men. How do women see Jamaican man? And is there any good Jamaican man left? We want to know. We will hear when the man them out the road officer. We want to hear from the man them out the road. Kevin, outer road we're going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Outer road.
Yes.
Stereotypes pertaining to Jamaican men that they do not want to build a future with a female partner. They prefer to acquire wealth than seek a relationship. That older Jamaican men always go after younger females, and that Jamaican men are afraid of independent women. How do ladies see Jamaican men? Some ladies see Jamaican men as being misunderstood due to what is expected of them by society. And majority of independent women see most Jamaican men as weak and immature. Are good men left? Yeah, most hide behind false pretense, pretending to be who they are not, because they do not want to stand out.
Well, there are several stereotypes that are said about Jamaican men. Some of them include Jamaican men are cheaters, they're unfaithful. They say Jamaican men are hardworking. They say Jamaican men cannot be trusted. They tell lies. They also say Jamaican men are very good in bed. Or they might say that they're well endowed. So there are a number of different things that people say about Jamaican men. Whether or not all of those things are true, I can't say. I don't think that what we say nowadays in the media is generally true. It's just perpetuating these false narratives, because the truth is people cheat. Men and women cheat. It's not something specific to Jamaican men. Some people are well endowed, some people are not well endowed. You know, it's not anything specific to Jamaican men. You understand? And it's a similar sort of thing when you look now and you say, are any of the men good or any of the men bad? Well, what I would beg to ask the question, are there good people in Jamaica? If the answer to that is yes, then I would say clearly there are a lot of good men in Jamaica. What we don't have a problem with whether or not men are good or bad, is that we have the media highlighting a lot of negative things. So we are of the perception that men in general are this particular way, but it's not actually true. Because when you look on it, let's say, for example, you turn on the news and you see a story. It says, man kills woman, or husband cheats on wife. And you see 10 of those stories. After a while, it starts to play out a certain narrative. But the reality is that there are more than 10 men in Jamaica. You get me? There are hundreds of thousands of people in Jamaica. And you're talking about 10 people out of possibly 1.5 million. So can you use 10 as a reasonable sample size to broad brush everybody? No, you can't. That's unrealistic, but that's what we do. So a lot of the things that people are saying out there in the media is not necessarily true. These are just some false narratives that have been perpetuated throughout the society for a good while, for years. You know, we need to stop it. And we need to look on it and be honest with ourselves, be fair to ourselves. Women do bad things, men do bad things, people do bad stuff. But overwhelmingly, there is more good in people than there is bad. And there are more good people than there are bad people. Jamaican, Bayesian, Trinidadian, American, it doesn't really matter. That's just a consistent fact right across the world. You know, we need to start seeing each other differently. We need to start examining what the real problems are, you know, and the real problems are not surrounding whether or not someone is a liar or someone is abusive and evil and wicked. No, we have a problem with knowledge. We have a problem with conflict resolution. We have a problem with people not having a good sense of self-awareness. That's what we really need to talk about. You know, those are really the things that drive some of the end results that people complain about. You get me? A man don't know that it is not good. You know, you have some people in inner city communities that think it's normal and okay. And I'm not pinpointing inner city communities because it's everywhere. You have people right across the board who do not know that it is not right to treat another human being in a particular way. So they communicate in a certain way. They are physical with them in a particular way. That's not good because they just don't know any better. And, you know, persons who do know better, we take it for granted that these people know better and they're just evil and wicked. Half of the time they don't know. And that's a reality. Yeah, we look at things like how are we training people to resolve conflicts in relationships? Is this taught in schools? It's not. And so when you look now and you see the news headlines where there's some relationship and one person completely defaces the next person or dismembers them or worse, then you have to ask yourself, have we failed these people as a society? These false narratives in the media, whether the social media or the regular general media, newspaper, radio, etc.
What are the stereotypes about Jamaican men? Well, it seems that a lot of women, Jamaican women in particular, feel like there is just one type of Jamaican man. That is a man whose eyes are always wandering. Because it would seem that the music and the lifestyle generally of men is that they're constantly unfaithful. They can't do one burner thing. And if there's a woman out there that them can conquer, them want to conquer that woman, it's like them can't help themselves. But that is not true of all men. And as a result of that, just the other day when we had Father's Day, if you should look back and recognize what happened in how we celebrate Father's Day versus Mother's Day and even Child Month, check it out. Child Month is in May. Mother's Day is in May. So it just seemed like that is just what the family is about, because both is celebrated in May. And Father's Day get took on somewhere in June. I notice that when it is, that is Mother's Day, enough big planning take place where restaurants open and card buy and gifts buy and enough excitement. Father's Day just seems like another day passing by. Might one or two persons might do a little thing, but you just hear it off one or two places. And so it just seems like the man is now irrelevant because he just can't be faithful.
All right, the stereotype Jamaican men, them have it to say Jamaican men, them not faithful, them a woman beater, them neglect them responsibilities. You understand? the ladies them know how they must see Jamaican men. Jamaican men that they not good like right now. And yeah, you still have good Jamaican men out there. However, the bad outweigh the good. You understand? Because my last
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man.
Yes, you just heard
Integrity
the
man.
speech of the road. Really interesting. Want to thank all those who heard their own voices, who participated in that, and who was our roving man out there on the road. We do, the comments are interesting. I don't know who want to take them on. Anything of note? One of my questions would be, based on what one person said, do we think the media feeds the stereotype of the negative outlook on our men? Which is it? Are the men feed the media stereotype? But is there anything anyone want to comment on? Pastor Paul Hemming, Sir Curtis or Styles? Anything you want to comment on that you just heard?
Well, I mean, most people said, the same thing about the womanizing thing. I have a list of stereotypes, and that's one of them. And this is what we hear. I don't know if there's a poll or research that has ever been done to prove this, but this is what we hear, and I suspect there's much truth to it. But again, it depends on where you are. So generally it's probably true. I recognize that has been a common thread among these things, that we lack commitment, we're cheaters, kind of thing, we're immature, and so on. Some of those I can relate to. But again, I don't know if these are factual things, whereas you can say this is what the Jamaican man is like.
Thank you very much.
Pastor Paul.
One gentleman said there might be 10 men who are highlighted, while 1.5 million may be good. So whether or not it is done by research or just anecdotal is a question. Thank you very much. Yes, Kevin.
If I could just jump in there, I wanted to add that what is really serious about this particular experience is that people don't want to praise somebody for the work that they're supposed to be doing. And the reality is, if a man is doing his work, you don't make stories out of a man being a good father, right? You don't make stories out of a man being a good husband. But we prefer to talk about the things that are anti-pattern, and the anti-pattern is the bad thing. So you're not going to find, no reporter is going out looking for people being good. They're looking out for the anti-patterns. And let's just be fair, anti-patterns are usually not the most dominant thing. They're just a thing worthy of news.
Because I alluded to,
so Joseph, go ahead, Pastor Paul.
No, like I alluded to earlier, that there was a stat. No, this is stats now. Came out a couple years ago that Jamaican men are becoming better at fathering. They're taking on a greater role as against before. Now that stats we're working with, that's numbers. And so we have to praise that. We have to highlight, but not much highlighting of that is happening. So I'm saying. So you're wondering what really to believe, kind of thing. So a woman might be hurt by a man, and so she goes about talking about what she has experienced, and that becomes a story.
Yes. So gentlemen, here's what I'd love, audience to get your expertise and your experience. How can the man them get better? Because we really want to encourage our boys to men to continue to improve. We know we have been doing good in some areas, and we know we want to challenge and encourage and empower. So starting, Timothy, tell us, if you were to come up with 2 or 3 things that you believe will help our men to actually grow and to become better and to make a meaningful contribution. What would you say, Timothy?
Boy, I think the easiest step for a man to get better is to come to the conference on July 17th. This weekend. We're tackling how to be a kingdom man, and I think that's the answer in and of itself. Pastor David is speaking in the first session, and then Pastor Paul Hemmings in the second session, and we'll have a panel discussion which is going to tackle break down how we become kingdom men. And I think that's really the answer. To become better, we have to become kingdom men. And how do we become kingdom men? By giving our lives to Christ, by stepping into the church, by walking this thing out with men that have done it ahead of us, and truly submitting completely to God. I think in the gist of it all, the aim is to be more and more like Jesus every day. And if we can do that, I think we're on the right track. And the best way to start the process, as I said, is July 17th. That's this Saturday. You can register kingdommenarise.com. It's a free event, and it's going to help you become a better man overall.
Thank you, Timothy. Before I go to Courtney, here's a comment here from D. Cohen. A stereotype for Jamaican men is that we are promiscuous. I live in Brooklyn, and a lot of women were surprised at my job that I am married with 2 kids. I am a close friend of Pastor Paul. So Pastor Paul here, D. Cohen, bigging you up and so. Joseph, give us your take. How can the man them become better making their contribution? Joseph.
What is beautiful is that when we refer to men, we refer to them as man them. Man must exist in community. The Lone Ranger thing is not healthy. Trying to figure it out and walk it out alone. He exists in community. The other thing is men must have and pursue a space of accountability.
Yeah.
To exist outside of accountability is detrimental to one's identity.
Yeah.
You're going to be easy picking for the enemy when he decide to ravage you. And I think another very important thing, I think it exists inside of that community, but once a man understands his identity in Christ, is a game changer.
So good.
Loving that community, accountability, and identity. You have given us much to think about and putting it all together. Pastor Paul, let's hear from you. How do we change the stereotype? How do we change the narrative from what we've been hearing? Do we have to go out there and hold up signs, men are good, like we want justice? How do we ensure that this stereotype and the narrative is changed?
Well, Joseph and Timothy, they took a more spiritual line. I thought they would have left that for me. So let me take a more sociological line. I think men have to get educated. It is said that if you can get up to grade 9 level education, that's a great start. Also, we have to take work seriously. We have to have a good work ethic. And not just a hustle kind of mentality, but a work mentality, trying to improve on ourselves. And third, I think we have to commit to family. We have to. And we're recognizing that this has affected our Black community, our Caribbean community negatively economically because you have one baby over there, so one baby mother over there, so one over there, so type of thing. What it does, it broke you very fast. So if you can commit to one space, it helps. And this is research that has been done coming out of North America, that these are the 3 main things. If you want to get rich, get yourself educated up to grade 9 level, work and commit and get married, they say, or commit to a family.
Very powerful. Thank you so much. Yes, really appreciate that. Dage P says, I believe some of our men fall into the bad stereotype because they do not have enough good role models to follow. And Susan says, men need to celebrate other men and empower them. Gentlemen, we're unfilling about your few seconds that you have. How can men empower other men? We're gonna end with Pastor Paul. Start with Joseph and Pastor Paul. So Timothy, how can men empower other men? Do you think we're doing that? Can we improve on that?
You know what? I think it is happening, but I definitely agree we have to empower other men. How can we do that? I think it goes right back to what Joseph had said earlier, which is it starts with community, and all I'd add to that is godly community at that level. And then I think as well, just even on the level of mentor and mentee relationships, we need advice from men that have gone ahead and done it before. We need to be live with them to ask them the questions that the more and more I become a man and grow, I'm realizing how much I don't know. And a big part of manning up is accepting that and going to someone who does. And I think that's a big part of the problem. A lot of us are trying to do this thing on our own and we don't know what we're doing. So I think once we can even just overcome that hurdle, it becomes that much easier.
Thank you, Timothy. Joseph.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I think one of the ways we can celebrate men and empowerment is for the men that are. We should remember that we're not just a position of judgment, but we should make sure that remember that we're reconciling people and restoring them, and that is critical for how we relate to each other as men. We must be able to keep our brothers accountable, but in so doing, give them an opportunity to be restored and established in a way that doesn't strip them of an identity, or they're going to run to other places that justify the things that they do.
Yeah.
Beautiful, Pastor Paul.
Yeah, this is one of the things I address. This is one of the things I address in my talk. We're going to be addressing in my talk on Saturday at the conference because, Timothy started alluding to it, not just a mentor and a mentee in your life, mentor to guide you and a mentee to keep you accountable, because if you have somebody following behind you, then you kind of want to walk more circumspect, eh? But also a mate as well, somebody that comes alongside you. So it's mentor, mate, and mentee. And I know we all do mentor, so I have to be careful about this mate thing, right? I'm talking about somebody that comes alongside, eh? Somebody who you a brother who equal to you, that can share struggles with, and you walk hand in hand, kind of a thing. We have a way of tearing down each other. We have a way of when we see a man dress up and we can't say, boy, you look that kind of dog. We can't say that. We have to tear him down first. Obviously, brother, the shoes don't look match that and type of thing. So we have to learn to speak life in each other and build up each other.
Thank you.
How the things.
We ran out of time. Thank you, and I agree. We should uplift each other and encourage each other. We want to say thanks to our producer, Tony K. Bromfield, and thanks to Nissan Williams for support. Thanks to our guests, Sir Skyers, Sir Curtis, Sir Wilson, and Pastor Paul Hemming. Indeed, remember, the Kingdom Men Arise Conference happens Saturday, the 17th of July. That's this Saturday at 9 a.m. Man, we are saying, go register and go. Kerry.
Yes, listen again next week for another Mailbox episode inside the program designed for men with guests who are men. Great to have you, men, and hosted by men. Remember, check out the conference at Swallow Field and register. It's going to be a great one. You have heard these gentlemen, and oh gosh, they have a lot more to talk about and other things happening. I'm Kevin Bailey.
And I'm Courtney Morrison. Next week.
And Mike. Monday.
Peace out. All right, guys. Thank you. Take care. Have a good one.
Blessings, brothers. Blessings.
See you Saturday.
All the best,
man.
See you on Saturday. Yes.